Shalom, this is Yah is Magnified, and I'm back with another informative video. Today's video is titled Restraining Order Dismissed. But before I tackle this subject, as always, I must state for the record, I'm not a lawyer, I do not practice law, and I do not pretend to. All my videos are for informational and educational purposes only. They're all facts and all truth, nothing more, nothing less. So with that being said, guys, hit that like button, and also if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so you all can be notified as I'm dropping these powerful videos. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so now this video will in fact be a spinoff to the video I made that was titled Restraining Order, okay? For those who haven't watched that video, I will put a link to that video in the description box, okay? So once this video go off, simply click on the link in the description box and it will take you directly to the video I made titled Restraining Order for all those who haven't watched that video. But for those who have watched that video, I know a lot of you all thought it was strange that I'm talking about restraining orders when my main focus is dealing with child support, okay? The reason why I addressed the restraining order issue when it pertains to child support, because one of my ops that I was assisting during the current time, he came to me for assistance with child support. But the child's mom didn't go down and apply for child support as of yet. Basically what she did was went down and got a restraining order in against them to make her case, so if she do go down and apply for child support services, it will make her case stronger against him to try to make him look a certain way when it comes down to these child support cases, okay? So that's why it's imperative that I tell you all that you must fight these restraining orders, because they can be used against you for your detriment, and it's just that simple, okay? So what I'm going to do now is go over the order on the screen, because this is the order that my OC received during the first hearing, because they tried to simply railroad him and they ruled against him in that hearing, okay? So let's go over this order so we can see what was ruled on in this order, okay? And then after that, we're going to go over the order of dismissal, all right? So now, as you all can see, the judge's signature is at the top upper left-hand corner. That's how they do it in the state of Ohio, okay? As you all can see, the file stamp is on the top right-hand corner, okay? It was filed on Tuesday, October 25th, 2022, okay? Case number I crossed out, docket number I crossed out, all right? But now let's pick it up at the very top. It states, in the Common Pleas Court of Montgomery County, Ohio Division of Domestic Relations, okay? This child's mom name I crossed out, her address I crossed out. Case number, again, I crossed out. She was the petitioner, okay? My aunt, who was the respondent, I crossed this information out, but we're going to call him Al, okay? So now, as you all can see, this is what? This is a decision and judgment. And it reads, this matter is before the court pursuant to the Date and Violence Civil Protection Order, CPO, ex parte, filed on October 11th, 2022. The Date and Violence Protection Order, CPO, ex parte was granted and set for full hearing on October 24th, 2022 at 11 a.m., right? Then it states the respondent, who was my Aunt Al, right, filed a written objection to the Date and Violence Protection Order on October 19th, 2022, okay? But let's continue reading. It states, Ohio Civil Rule 65.1 allows objections within 14 days of a dating violence civil protection order, CPO. Then it states full hearing magistrate's decision. Then it states the full hearing was held on October 24th, 2022 at 11 a.m. and is pending the magistrate decision by the magistrate, right? Then it states further, case law, I think that's Montgomery Rules of Civil Procedures, states in part that the ex parte, now let's go to the next page. All right, let's pick this up at the top, page 2, and it reads, civil protection order remains in effect until a decision is issued subsequent to the full hearing. Then it reads, thus, the objection filed to the Date and Violence Civil Protection Order, CPO, ex parte is improper. As such, is denied, and the Date and Violence Protection Order, CPO, ex parte filed October 11th, 2022 remains in effect. So now, guys, as you all can see, because their argument was that he filed his objection too early. Now understand that he has a right to object to any hearings, okay? So the court didn't like what we wrote in the objection, so they wanted to simply try to deny his objection because they didn't like what was stated in the objection, even though everything that was in the objection was true, okay? To further prove that, let's continue reading. It reads, it is therefore ordered as follows, and the support enforcement agency shall correct its records accordingly. So I don't know why they saying the support enforcement agency shall correct its records accordingly when he's not on child support and the agency didn't never reach out to him, anything like that. So he's not on child support. So I don't even know why they added that line. But let's continue. Number 1, it states, respondent objection filed on October 19th, 2022 are found not to be well taken and what? Hereby dismissed. So again, they didn't like the objection that we filed on October 19th, 2020. They said it wasn't well taken. Why? Because they didn't like the fact that we put out there and how he's exposing the sham for what it was. So now it states what? It was not well taken and what, guys? Hereby dismissed. Okay? Let me see right here. Hereby dismissed. That's exactly what it states. Okay? So, let me see if I can get it to come down. There it is. Hereby dismissed. But let's read number 2. It states, the Dating Violence Shield Protection Order, CPO ex parte, filed on October the 11th, 2022, copies attached, shall remain in full force and effect until October 11th, 2023. Okay? So now, guys, this order is supposed to be in effect until October 11th, 2023. Now, we're going to see if it's still in effect because we're in January the 1st, 2023. We're nowhere near October, but let's continue. And it states, and or pending the magistrate's decision from the October 24th, 2022 full hearing. Then it states, any and all stays are hereby vacated. So even if you put a motion to stay in, they simply vacated any motion that you put into the court on grounds that they feel as though that they're going to issue the restraining order against my ARC, okay? Then it states, notice of final appealable order. Then it states, copies of the foregoing order, which may be final appealable orders, should be served upon the parties by the clerk in a manner prescribed by Civil Rules 5B within 3 days of entering this judgment upon the journal. The clerk shall then note the service in the appearance docket pursuant to Civil Rules Procedures 58B. Service shall then be deemed complete. So again, guys, they tell you what to do. So this is this became a final appealable order. So that's exactly what we did. Okay, we filed an objection and he went to the higher courts. But when he come on here, he's going to give his testimony. He's going to explain in his testimony what happened and basically what he done, which, you know, because he basically what he did was he missed the time frame for filing the appeal, but he still filed an objection too, which they was trying to deny, but we got everything straightened with that situation. So now, this is the order that was placed in first. Simply dismissing the objection that we filed into the case, right? And simply ruling in favor of the child's mom, placing this restraining order in against my ARC until October the 11th, 2023, okay? So now, let's go to the new order that he just received in the mail after we objected and appealed to this final order right here, okay? So without further ado, let's go to the new order now. Let's go there. All right, so now what we have on the screen is in fact the next order, okay? So this is the final order after we objected to that order that we just read, okay? So now let's read the new order. So again, you can see the judge name on there. So ordered, right? Upper left-hand corner. So ordered with the judge name, who is Timothy Woods, and also the support magistrate's name, who looks like her name is Barber, but you can't really make it out. But those are the names of the order. So the support magistrate signed and the judge signed off on this order, okay? As you all can see, this order was electronically filed in the Court of Common Pleas on Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023 at 1:15 p.m., okay? Case number I crossed out again, guys. So now let's read this order. And it reads, in the Common Pleas Court of Montgomery County, Ohio Division of Domestic Relations. So again, I crossed out the petitioner's information, right? I also crossed out the respondent information, okay? I just kept his first name, who we're going to call Al, all right? And the title of this order is titled what? Right here, guys, so you see where I'm at. It's titled Domestic Relations, right? Or Domestic Violence for hearing. Order to dismiss domestic violence, petition, and vacate ex parte CPO, okay? So again, this order is simply doing what? Dismissing the domestic relations petition against my ARC, and it's also vacated the ex parte CPO order that was entered in back in October of last year, okay? They're supposed to go on till October 2023. But let's continue reading. It states what? Magistrate decision and what? And permanent order. This is a permanent order, guys. But let's continue. It reads, this matter came before the court for a full hearing on the petition for domestic violence civil protection order and ex parte civil protection order filed on October 11, 2022, which you just read in the last order, guys. But let's continue. It states, a hearing was held on this matter on October 24th, 2022. Present was the petitioner and respondent, both self-represented. But let's continue. The following findings of facts and conclusions of laws were reached based on the evidence presented. Then it states what? Petitioner files her petition for data violence civil protection order against respondent on October 11th, 2022, which we just read, guys. So now let's go to the second page. Right, so now we're on page 2. I just want to continue to scan over the order real quick, guys. Once I scan over the order, I will have my aunt come on and give his testimony. I just want to give you all the full rundown of what has taken place in his case, all right? But now let's pick this up at the top. It states, read it, top line, guys. It reads, the respondent questioned if Ohio had what, guys? Personal jurisdiction over him. And it's just that simple, okay? But let's continue. The respondent is a resident of Texas. Then it states the respondent works for a Texas employer as a truck driver. Respondent was assigned a route that includes stops in Zanesville and Vidalia, Ohio. Since the petition is being dismissed, so since the petition is being what, guys? Since the petition is being dismissed, right? It states that issue does not need to be addressed. So again, guys, the petition is in fact being dismissed, and because they're dismissing the petition, the courts are dismissing the petition, the courts feel as though there's no need to address the personal jurisdictional challenges because it's going to be hard for them to even explain how they even feel as though they have jurisdiction over my art. But let's continue. And it states, petitioner pursued respondent after she was his Lyft driver. Okay, so that's kind of strange, but let's continue. I just want to scan through the order real quick. Petitioner used the Lyft payment information to track respondent down through his sister. After 3 weeks of talking and texting, they finally met up in Dayton at a hotel in December 2021. Respondent decided to stay in Ohio for Christmas 2021 and purchase presents for petitioner and her family, okay? But let's continue. Then it states, therefore, the parties continued to meet in hotels when respondent was in town. When respondent came to town on Friday night to spend the weekend with petitioner, she would not come to the hotel until Sunday. Petitioner never allowed respondent into her home, even when he drove her home and needed to use the bathroom. She refused him entry. Respondent became concerned that petitioner was cheating on him. Clearly, there was an intimate relationship as petitioner is expecting a child she has identified as the respondent. Okay, so basically because she was pregnant, she's trying to get a restraining order against him. So if she go down and apply for services, they can use that restraining order in her favor for he can get less time with the child or whatever other things that they decide to do. But we didn't address child support because he didn't receive any notices from child support, letters or anything from child support to even address child support. So he don't have an order in for support or anything like that. You know, she's just trying to do these things in order to affect him in case she do decide to go down and apply for services. But after she's seen his response and the judge writing this, she may have a second, a change of heart about going down to the agency. But let's continue. It reads, petitioner testifies they broke up after 6 or 7 months. Petitioner does not want to be bothered by respondent. Petitioner changed her phone number because of respondent's alarming behavior. Then it states, from the testimony, it appears as if they spent more time breaking up than together. Respondent testifies that the parties argued/disagreed and there was name calling both ways. Respondent testifies that he feels used by the petitioner because he spent a lot of money on her. Respondent used a cash transfer app. Respondent used a cash transfer app 40 times to contact petitioner on October 10th through 11th, 2022. See Exhibits 1 through 6. Petitioner refunded the money. Each message in the cash app starts with 4, right? Quote. Then it states, the cash app has a limited amount of characters allowed in the messages, so respondent had to send many to get a complete message to petitioner after she changed her phone number and cut off communications. Then it states, that's the screenshots from the, below is screenshots from the Cash App, guys, so ain't no point in reading that. But now let's go to page 3. All right, so now we're on page 3. There's still messages from the Cash App, so let's pass all that, okay? So now let's pick this up where it states according. Then it states, according to petitioner, respondent bothered, harassed, and followed her. Petitioner testifies that respondent threatened her with harm, but provided no details. Petitioner testifies that she feared for her life because of respondent's actions. The parties agreed that respondent never caused any physical harm. For petitioner, the respondent emotional and mental abuse was enough. Respondent testifies that he is not violent and has no history of violence. He testifies that he just wanted information about the baby, but petitioner did not want to communicate with him. Respondent provides copies of text messages that petitioner sent to his sister, whose name I crossed out, on or about October the 12th and 13, 2022, in which stated and posted. So now let's go to page 4, guys. Let's go there. Okay, so now as you all can see, we're on page 4, and it picks up with more Cash App messages. So let's pass all of that. You all can pause and read it if you want to, but let's pick it up where it states Exhibits D, E, and F. Then it reads, respondent testified that during their 3 or 6 month relationship, the parties broke up 6 or 7 times. When this happened, petitioner would reach out to him to start the relationship back up through apps because he had blocked their number. Then it states he was doing the same when he sent the Cash App messages. He testifies, right, that he was trying to learn the gender of the baby. He admits that he acted immature with the name calling. The 40 messages in one night on Cash App amount to less than 40 sentences because of the restricted characters. None of the messages threaten violence. Now let's go to page 5, guys. Now let's pick this up at page 5, top line, and it reads, couple was breaking up after a short relationship that potentially produced a child. Neither acted sensibly. Then it reads, the Ohio Supreme Court has held that, quote, when granting a protection order, the trial court must find that the petitioner has shown by a preponderance of evidence that petitioner is in danger of violence. Case law to support that, which is Felton versus Felton. But not only that, they also quoted the Rules of Civil Procedures, which is 3113.31A1A. Defines domestic violence as attempting to cause or recklessly causing bodily injury to a family or household member. The statutory criterions to determine whether or not to grant a civil protection order pursuant to RC 113.31 is the existence or threatened existence of domestic violence, which my ARC did not do, and the order will continue to explain that. But let's continue. At issue in the present case is whether the petitioner met the statutory elements of domestic violence. From the competent and credible evidence presented, the petitioner did not meet the burden by a preponderance of evidence that domestic violence occurred. So again, guys, it's not what they know, but what they can prove. But let's continue. It states, based on the fact pattern presented, that the respondent did not commit domestic violence against the petitioner. There was no demonstration of an immediate and present danger of domestic violence. Accordingly, the petition for domestic violence is what, guys? Dismissed, okay? So we got the petition dismissed, but let's continue. It states, upon the evidence submitted, it is hereby ordered as follows. 1. That the petition in the domestic violence filed on October 11, 2022 is hereby dismissed with what, guys? With prejudice. And the ex parte civil protection order filed on October 11, 2022 is what, guys? Hereby vacated. So not only is the petition dismissed with prejudice, but the order entered in on October 11th is hereby vacated. Okay? Further proving that the court did not have the judicial authority or no form of authority to even enter an order against my ARC. But let's continue. Number 2, the party should immediately check with the Montgomery County Sheriff Office to determine whether property, including weapons, if any, was taken from the respondent. If the property, including weapons, if any, is in the custody of the sheriff, it may be picked up by presenting this entry to the property room. Montgomery County Sheriff Office, that's the address. Then it states the time between 8 and 4 a.m., Monday through Friday. Then it states property, including weapons, if any, left in the possession of the sheriff 30 days from the date of this entry is hereby found to be abandoned and therefore shall be subject to a forfeiture. Then it states it is further ordered that the clerk administer fees in this action are hereby what, guys? Waived. So now let's go to page 6 and then we close this out and my ARC come on give his testimony. Let's go to page 6. So now, as you all can see, this is in fact page 6, and page 6 is just simply a notice giving them, letting them know that they can appeal the order if they would like to. But like I stated before, the order was dismissed with prejudice, and the petition was also dismissed. So if they want to try to appeal it, so be it. But 9 times out of 10, they're not going to appeal it. They never appeal it once the court rules in your favor. So that's basically it on that. But, you all can pause it and read it as well. Final notice of final appealable order. So now that everything is done, let me bring my uncle on to give his testimony. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, as promised, I got my uncle on the phone. Are you ready, Ak?
Yeah.
All right, the floor is yours.
Okay, man, I contacted Yahuah Magnify because I had a situation. At first, I was thinking it was, going to be dealing with the, child support and this, that, and the third, but it found out through the mail that it was a domestic violence, dating violence, charge. And basically, he informed me that he really didn't deal with that, but that he would go ahead and deal with it. And we put the proper paperwork in. They was giving me trouble at the court about putting my motions in because it wasn't in the format they wanted it in. Basically, they had a whole committee that had to approve your motions and all of that. And I know for a fact that you can put a motion in on toilet paper. So just getting the whole runaround through the whole deal. But he gave me good paperwork. I put it in, sat down, stood firm with it, and made him, basically take it and step it into evidence. Well, I went to the hearing, had the whole hearing out. Oh, girl, it was a frivolous charge to begin with. Never put my hands on her. I never threatened her, none of that. We had a whole hearing. It still came out in her favor. Sad to say. So then Yahuah Magnified informed me that we had appeal. So we have filed the appeal with all the proper paperwork. I'm taking days off doing this. And ended up with the appeal. It was my fault on my end. My mail wasn't coming directly to me. It was, I had done a change of address, so it was coming to me, then coming to the old address, then going to my new address. So it's a time frame that you have to file your appeal. Well, I ended up missing that time frame. Yahuah Magnified told me, hey, it's nothing we can do at this point. But I did file the appeal. I did put his paperwork in and file the appeal. Well, I guess that went to the higher court. And when they looked at the whole ordeal and looked at what was done and how the first hearing had went forward and it still upheld the judgment of the magistrate, well, I guess the paperwork went across the right desk because this morning I got a paper out of the mail that said the whole thing was dismissed in order to vacate the dating violence order that was in place. So, right. I'm, thankful that, Yahuah Magnified was there to help me through this deal, because if I would have had to go at it at my own, I would have still been under that order right now. And that's a serious offense, because I think females use it because, from what I understand, I'm from Texas. This is way up in Ohio. They can use that to get an apartment, a free apartment. A lot of them use it to have a leg up when they go into the child support court, because that puts you at an array where you can't have no kind of communication with them, and then they can use that to say, hey, he did this, he did that, and have you locked up with that, So it comes with a lot of positives on their side, a lot of negatives on your side. So it really was a blessing to be able to get this taken care of, man. And I just was, giving this testimony to show y'all that it's real. The paperwork is real, and you got to do the work, man.
Exactly. So let me ask you a question. When we first went and you first went into the court, I told you already had them beat before you went in, correct?
You say what?
When you first went into the court, you remember the first time for your first hearing, and you talked to me that day, and we talked on the phone, and I told you already had them beat, and I told you why you had them beat, but the judge still got upset with you, right?
Correct.
And so the judge still ruled against you, even though we had them beat.
Correct. I let it all out and let them know it was frivolous, it was trumped up, but they go with the women on that. You know what I mean? Because it's so hard for them to say nah and they automatically sided with her. It wasn't too much that I could, switch that to.
Right. So then we went to the appeals, you filed the documents, and then the judge ruled in our favor, right?
Correct.
It was dismissed.
That went to the higher court. That wasn't in the same court.
Right, exactly. It went to a higher court because you did the notice of appeal and filed the appeal with the documents. We went to a higher court, and the higher court, on your appeal, ruled in your favor, basically dismissing the whole case with prejudice and vacating the ex parte order in your favor.
Correct.
Right. Correct. So you went in there and you did good. Like I was telling you when we was going through it. I told you from the beginning. I said I don't do custody. I don't do restraining orders, but I'll help you because it's gonna be the same no matter what. So I helped you with it. Even though I told you I wouldn't, I still helped you with it.
It's a stepping stone to that child support deal. They sometimes have that all wrapped in there to where they can get the ball moving if it's an actual child. She hadn't had a child, so they couldn't go that route with me, but they can actually get the ball moving in that domestic violence or dating violence deal.
Correct. And that's why I remember I did a video, because you had to do a video on restraining order, so I did that video. So this is basically a spinoff for the reason why I did that video was for you, right?
Correct. So now it's the answer to it. Like you say, remedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's remedy, yeah.
I mean, anybody in this situation, man, I wouldn't tell you anything wrong, man. Reach out to them and get you some assistance, man. You don't want to just go in there naked and not, being able to take care of what you need to take care of, man.
Correct. Yeah. So let me ask you, when you received those documents, how did you feel this morning when you called me up?
Oh man, a weight lifted up off of it. It's still a fight, but I'm knowing that it's something I can do about it. I'm not just out here, letting them handle me however they want to handle me. I got to be able to go in there and, like you say, stand as a man and take care of my business. You know what I mean? So not only that, it also let me know, because like I told you, that deadline with the paperwork, I had missed that. But it's somebody on the other side that know, hey, man, just because I work here, I'm not in what they got going on. I know what's going on, but I'm not with that. And they must have looked at it and said, hey, we're not going to do this dude like that. And so it turned out in my favor, man. I thank God for it, man.
Yeah, exactly. But what happened was, I think even though you filed the paperwork, even though it was sort of late, I think they still picked it up, because I think the ruling from the magistrate go before an actual judge to have to go to documents and go over de novo style. So they automatically went over de novo. Right. So they saying that what we filed and what you was arguing versus what she was filing, versus what she argued, they'll see that she didn't have a case to stand on from the beginning, even though the judge was still trying to give her something to, rule in her favor, as if she actually established a case against you. And the judge was trying to put you in some form of order in order for them to keep you in the system, which I was saying about restraining order video. The reason why it's not good to have a restraining order, because the child's mom can simply go back down there and just say you showed up around her, even though you never did, but you can say you did. And now all of a sudden there's a warrant out for your arrest, and now you stuck.
Easily. Just a word of mouth. I seen him pass by my house, or he called from this random number. I don't even know the number, and then there's ramifications behind that. You know what I mean? So, I said, I think what you said is right. It went across. It didn't line up. You know what I mean? Even though they pushed it through and gave it to her, it didn't line up. So that higher court looked at it and said, no, we're not going to sign off on this, and threw it out, vacated it with prejudice, as you say. Right.
Because even if they was to do it again, because now, so say if that court ruled against you, then you would appeal to a higher court after that. You see? And they knew that. So it's like, well, we just can't keep having them go to a higher court.
Exactly.
That's process if we're just trying to, just put anybody in a restraining order, when this guy, he's doing the right things, and, there's no evidence of any type of injury or harm that a restraining order is even required. But yet still, you guys put a restraining order against this man, having this man, walk with eggshells when it was never nothing. It was no form of evidence or anything, but they still ruled against you. So the court had to fix that and correct that mistake.
Exactly. Got remedy.
You got that? You got that remedy, Ark. And I remember when you told me, you walked out and you said, man, they ruled against me. I was like, how do they rule against you when it's evident that there's no form of domestic violence, but they still ruled against you? I said, don't worry about it. We're just going to go to a higher court and boom, you'll get remedy there. And sure enough.
Yeah, it worked. It worked.
Yeah, because you had called me and said, man, you put any other paperwork in for me? I said, nah, just what I gave you. Yeah. Whatever you already filed.
Because I thought it was over and done. Because you told me, I said, hey, is there anything we can do at this point? He was like, man, you didn't meet the deadline. There's nothing we can do. And I'm like, so that's why at this point, I'm like, hey, man, did you put something else in? But like I said, I think it was her against the paperwork at that point. You know what I mean? When I didn't meet that deadline, I think it was actually her word against this paperwork. And like you said, it was a frivolous charge to begin with. So it just didn't stand the test of time.
Right, exactly. They were trying to hold you for something you didn't do. So I was like, man, we're going to fight that. We're going to get you off of that. And sure enough, you went in, you did what you're supposed to do. You stood firm. The judge tried to railroad you. But, hey, in the end, we still stayed firm. You filed more documents, left them with the documents. They had to rebut those. They couldn't. So they had to rule in your favor.
So anybody that don't think that's serious, you can have trouble renting a place to stay with that kind of charge on your record. You know what I mean? That ain't really nothing to play with. To a woman, well, I'm not going to say it like that, but to people that go down and file their own people frivolously, they don't care. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get my leg up. If they're going to give me somewhere to stay or whatever I can get out of doing this, is fine. But this person that's going through that, it doesn't look good on you. It's some real stuff that you're dealing with when dealing with that. So I wouldn't take it lightly. You know what I mean?
Correct. Like I said, you can always go down and file another frivolous claim against you. You already believe one, so you can go back there and say, well, you showed up where she was at, even if you didn't do it, intentionally. Right. Y'all could have both been in the same grocery store, like I was telling you earlier, and you could have said, oh, he followed me to the grocery store. No, I was coming to go grocery shopping. You happen to be here with me. Now I'm going to jail for going grocery shopping, and now you're going to even be at the grocery store.
Correct.
Stuff like that.
Foolishness.
Yeah, foolishness. Yeah, foolishness. That's all it is. It's absolute foolishness. But hey, Ark, I'm glad, man. Like I told you, I'm not gonna hold you long. I just wanted you to come and get this testimony. I really appreciate you coming on and giving this testimony. Anything you want to say to the brothers before I let you go?
I mean, there's a lot of people out there saying that they got this and they got that, man. At the end of the day, you do your research, man. You see this man, he dropping testimonies, man. Not just that. He getting it done, man. Remedies, you know what I mean? People be talking, and often imitated, never duplicated. You know what I mean? This guy gonna give you the business, you know what I mean? And gonna walk with you through it. It's been plenty of times I'm at the courthouse, had to call this man, hey, they handling me, man. What I need to do, they got me against the rope. Boop, 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 and I'm coming out, right back in them. You know what I mean? So I go with him. You know what I mean? Respect his ticket. Whatever he tell you, you know what I'm saying? It's worth your money. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, like I say, a lot of people, they talking this and they talking that. That's what they after, your money. You know what I mean? This guy here, he going to walk with you because this is what he want to see. He want to see the end result. You didn't just come get me for nothing. You came and got me to go to work and get a fight. And that's what he here for, man. So anybody, I tell you, deal with him. You know what I mean? He ain't showed me nothing, weak or soft or nothing sour yet. You know what I mean? I doubt if that come out of him, man. The man a good man, man.
Yep, and another thing, you my first testimony of 2023, so congratulations on that, baby.
Okay, that's what's up. Because I ain't gonna lie, that's what sold me on you when I got to seeing these guys doing testimony. I asked myself, I said, would you do that? I really ain't with all of I ain't on social media and all that, but at the end of the day, if that's what helped me to confirm that I would deal with you, I want somebody else to see this and say, you know what, I'm gonna go to this guy. You know what I mean? Because he don't, do what he needs to do, man.
Yeah, it's real. I try to tell everybody, man, this is real, man. Like, what I'm doing is it's real, man. I help so many brothers, man. So it's just real, man. So
I mean, at the end of the day, like you say, you had to go through it yourself. You know what I mean? You got proof and show where you done your own. You know what I mean? You got, like you said, you got guys on there talking about they done went through it. They said, well, you can't even produce your own paperwork. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
I respect what you got going on, man. You do your due diligence. Like I say, man, the paperwork is there. His assistants calling him is there, man. You know, the answers is there. Hey, they telling me this. Okay, do this. Hey, they doing that. Okay, do this. You gonna panic, but he gonna be calm. And you gonna think, hey man, you're not going through this, but he really going through it with you. You know what I mean? Because he know what they gonna throw at you. You know what I mean?
Right. I was already there. Right. I was already there, so I'm familiar with it. So when you guys are panicking, it's nothing to me because I'm familiar with the games that they play and some of the methods they'll use to try to get you upset or to get you intimidated to stop you from proceeding forward or to fight your fight that you already started to fight. So they want to intimidate you and they want to make it seem as though, okay, you're sending them documents, they're not responding back, or maybe, it's not working. No, it is working because I keep telling people that no response is a response. So, you know what I mean? So it's working. You guys just have to have patience and understand what's really going on and know that there's things in the background that's taking place in your favor that you don't even know. Such as in your case, you didn't know that they were still going through your domestic violence situation until you received the order reversing what was done. You see? But all that was done on the backside.
Correct.
You see? So once you file your documents, then they have to address those documents. Even though if they don't want to address those documents, then they basically admit that everything that's in those documents is true. So there's no argument about that. That's why I tell everybody, we don't go to court to argue. No, it's not. The facts, there's no point in arguing the facts. The facts are the facts, no matter who says or what says. Your whole thing is to prove what you know to be true. Their whole point as well, to prove what they believe is true. If they can't prove what they believe is true, but you can prove what you believe is true, then 9 times out of 10, the judge is going to rule in your favor. Sometimes the judge get upset because, hey, they human too. They don't want to get beat by somebody average coming off the street.
I got you. Exactly.
How do we know this information? You see, or who's telling him this stuff? You see, how did he learn this? We can't get this information out. We can't let these people know these things because the moment they do, they start standing for themselves. So let's rule it against them. So I always tell people to watch the brother Chris Hiller's testimony because even in his child support case, they try to rule against him first. In his first case, they ruled against him and actually hung up on him. So we said, okay, cool. Like we did in your case, we filed an appeal, went to the higher court. The appeals court made a ruling in his favor like they did in your favor. So I tell everybody, just because you get a ruling that you don't like or in the lower court doesn't mean that your fight stops. No, you continue to go higher. You ride the chain of command. You see, until you get the result that you want. You just don't stop there and say, okay, it's over with. No, ride it up as much as you can. Even if for those who are going through it, and it's kind of hard for them to see what's going on. People who have my help, people who don't have my help, that's fighting a good fight, understand that it's a fight, guys. It's nothing that you're just going to be able to get away with easy. It takes time, dedication. It takes years. It takes someone to know what's going on in order to assist you guys the right way. I'm pretty sure you went to other people before you came to me, or spoke with other people before you spoke with me. And everyone has a different outtake on the situation, but it's what's the real, who's going to get the results you see out of the situation. That's the whole thing about it.
And this didn't take long. I think that was in October the 11th. They came to my job and started me with that, and we already done with that.
Right. And the crazy part, and the crazy part about it, it says in the order that we were challenged in personam jurisdiction, but they didn't want to address that part, so they just because the case is dismissed.
Exactly. Quick.
Yeah, they don't want to address that part. So I keep telling y'all, man. I tell everybody on my channel, man. It's the legal entity known as the straw man. You must separate yourself from that in order to get rid of it. It's just that simple, man. So anybody telling you guys, man, you can see my face. People can see me talking. So anybody telling you guys that the straw man don't work, but you can't see their face, and they trying to tell you guys something different, and they still on child support themselves, then run from them, guys. I tell you, okay, because I'm the only channel, guys. I lie you not, man. That's showing this type of remedy. That's it. Not to toot my own horn, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I just try to tell people, man, it is what it is. I'm not bragging or nothing like that, but the truth won't be the truth.
Facts. Facts. These youngsters say facts.
It's facts.
It's facts.
So exactly. So hey, I'm not here to argue, and you can't argue these facts. The evidence is on YouTube, man. It's time stamped. YouTube have dates. You can go back years. To what 2017. Go back years to 16, 17. You go back there, you'll see from then to now, almost 6 years, 7 years almost, with straight results. It's crazy.
You can't,
You know,
hey, you can't dispute that, man. You can't dispute that.
can't dispute it. And now by you bet on the other end, you can vouch more. You know, that's what.
Yeah.
You know, you're telling the truth. You know, it's your truth.
Like I told you, that's what sold me. That's what sold me. I'm way down here in Texas, man.
Yeah.
And I look and I'm like, man, I didn't know where he was, but I said I got to get a hold of this cat. And you drop your info on all of them. Hey, get at me in my email. I done that. Rest is history, man. You know what I mean? I recommend. I say that. You know, anybody that's trying to deal with something that he deal with, you know, I'll let him.
Yeah, man. So let me ask you, how is it in Texas, man? Because I see, you know, you from Texas, man. I was asking you, how is it out in Texas?
Oh, it's good. It's good. Just read the sign and say, don't mess with Texas when you come in, man. Other than that, you good. I mean, I love it. I love it. And I drive trucks and I go all over, but, you know, ain't no place like home. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's good. Anybody want to come down here and live, you know what I mean? It's good. It's a cheaper cost of living, you know, and the people we ain't tripping, you know what I mean? But if you come with some foolishness, you're going to get met with foolishness. You come with, you know, real stuff, you're going to get met with real stuff, love and all of that, you know what I mean? It is what it is, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah. One day, hopefully soon, I'll be out in Texas, man.
Man, get at me, bro. Man. We can go sit down on me, man. We can go sit down on me, man, because, hey, I'm telling you, I didn't know, like I say this morning, man, the weight was lifted, man. And like I say, man, I just come up for some air. I know I'm still in this thing, you know what I mean? We still in this thing, you know, so.
Yeah, but you went in there, man, and like I told you, man, you did good. Who cares what they try to make you feel? You know, that's what they want you to feel, but the truth is the truth, man. So it's what's stated on the order, you see? So the first order, like I said, I'm going to go out. At the beginning of the video, I went over the order and stuff like that, so they'll understand what it states.
Right.
But besides that, you went in there, man, and you did extremely well. I told you that other part. I said, don't worry about it. You know, you're dealing with crooks, and they're going to be as crooked as possible to see if you know what's next. You see? But you did real good, huh? Anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to say before I let you go? I know you're at work, and I ain't trying to hold you up for so long.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man. Get at me, man.
Anytime, Mark. I'd like to thank you again, man. As you all know, you all heard it from him. You know, so it's his testimony. He went with it with me. He been through it with me. So he can vouch for the truth again. So that's another person down. First testimony in 2023. Again, I really appreciate that, man. I really do.
We early in 2023 too, man.
Early, right, first month. January, man. Your order was January 3rd. This month, this year, January 3rd.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that's what I'm going to do for today. If you all need my help, hit me up in my email at yahuahmagnify@gmail.com. Also, guys, cop that merch. I got the Yahuah Magnify. Let me show them real quick. Got the Yahuah Magnify gear on, man, on the sleeves and everything. So it's nice, man. Come and check me out, guys, when you all get time. But again, that's what I'm going to do for today. You need my help, hit me up in my email, yahuahmagnify@gmail.com. Let's get this right wisdom, this right knowledge, and this right understanding. With that being said, I say shalom, my heart.
Shalom.
All right, peace.